Hey enthusiasts, AlvinMunk here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Butcher Gang action figures from Jakks Pacific, starting with Charley. Let's take a look at this bad boy, shall we? Here's a look at Charley's box from the front, the side with Bendy and Boris, the back, all the new characters, and then the re-release of Bendy, pretty cool. And then here's the other side with Charley and Edgar, and then a picture of Charley there. And here's the UPC code for folks who want to buy it in stores. Now let's get to the actual unboxing. Alrighty, here's everything Charley comes with. And now let's take a look at Charley himself. His sculpt looks pretty good. I really like how the vest has wrinkles in it. That's pretty cool. And the backup is the coat has really some cool detail. And I really like how all the figures from Wave 4, except for Bendy because I don't know if he does, have all the copyright information just actually molded into them. Awesome sauce, Charley. And here's the cash register, which is a static piece. Wait, hold on. I'm going to try and get this. Hold on. Okay, let me cut. As you can see, it does open, but it takes a little prying. But hey guys, I forgot to mention a little crank for the cash register. Has a little bit of articulation in it as well. So that's kind of cool. Awesome. And looking at Charley's other accessory, he comes with a cartoon projector, which plays one of the scenes from Tasty Trio Troubles in it, where he's at the cash register. So that's kind of cool. Now, let's move on to the articulation for Charley. Okay, for articulation, Charley has a head swivel only. He doesn't have a ball joint. I couldn't get his head to look all the way 360 because of the fact that it was a really tight joint, so just be cautious of that. Okay, so Charley also has an arm joint that goes up and down and can turn in and out side to side. He also has bending elbows that can bend roughly about 90 degrees and a swivel. He can also twist his wrists, and he has a hinge on his wrists like Bendy, Boris, and Alice did. However, my hinge will not move because I think it's stuck. Charley can also kick his legs about out that far. He can kick his legs that far back. He can also bend his knees about 90 degrees. And his feet are on a ball joint, so they can go all around, unlike Bendy's feet, who also had big boots. Alrighty, that's it for Charley's articulation. Let's do some comparisons. Here's Charley next to the Jakks Pacific World Nintendo Wario figure. Here he is next to the NECA TMNT 80s cartoon Raphael. Here he is next to the Jakks Pacific Knuckles figure.
Whoa!
You know we had to do it. Here's Charley next to the Piper, also from the Jakks Bendy series. And last but not least, here's Jakks Charley next to Jakks Cartoon Bendy. Next up is Jakks Barley. Let's take a look, shall we? Alright, moving on to Barley's box. Here's the front. Here's the side. Bendy, Boris again. The other side with Charley and Edgar and then Boris at the bottom. Then here's all the figures on the back with the accessories shown. And then here's the UPC code for those who want to find this figure in stores. Now, here's Barley out of the box. As you can see, he comes with his little broom from Tasty Trio Troubles. And he too comes with a projector that shows a Tasty Trio Troubles clip, which also relates to his accessory with the broom. Now then, looking at Barley's articulation, he has slight articulation in his head. And by slight, I mean very slight. You can barely move that thing. He's also the only Butcher Gang member to have waist articulation too, which I find kind of cool. He almost has like an ab crunch, but like in his stomach, if that makes sense. Moving on to his arms, they move up and down and all around. He has elbow bends as well, which are 90 degrees about, up and down and swivel. He then has wrist articulation, and his hinges move better than Charley's a little bit. His legs can kick that far forward, but not too far because of his gut. They kick that far back. They can bend about 90 degrees, not all the way, but about. And there we go. He has the same ball joint boot as Charley does, so that's really cool as well. Now, let's move on to comparisons. A sailor next to a sailor. Here's Barley next to the Boss Fight Studio Popeye. Here he is next to the NECA TMNT 80s cartoon Donnie figure. And lastly, here he is next to the Jakks Pacific cartoon Bendy.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Hey enthusiasts. Before we get on to Edgar, I want to give a little shout out to Lil Wody's son. I hope I pronounced that right. They're the shop that I found the Jakks Wave 4 Butcher Gang figures before anyone else. And while Charley and Barley are out of stock at the moment, Lil Wody's son graciously gave me a discount code that you guys can use on your next Jakks Bendy Wave 4 purchase. Just enter Inky Bendy News at the checkout to get 15% off your Jakks Bendy Wave 4 order. And great news! There's unlimited uses to this code, so anyone can buy a figure and join in on the fun. Just go to littlewodyson.com/tag/butcher to see which figures they have left and get 15% off your Jakks Bendy Wave 4 order. And just to clarify, this is not a sponsorship. I paid for these figures with my own money, but I did use the 15% off coupon, and they got here just safe as you can see. So once again, check out the link on screen and in the description below to get 15% off your Jakks Bendy Wave 4 order. And thanks a million to Lil Wodyson for creating this incredible code for everyone to use. Really appreciate it, guys. Now back to the video. Alrighty then, last but not least, we're down to Edgar, the final member of the Butcher Gang. Taking a closer look at his package, here's the front. The side with Bendy and Boris to be seen. The other side. And an Edgar with his little toy duck and his projector. And here's Edgar's UPC code in case you want to buy him in stores. Looking at Edgar out of the box, I think he's really cool. Here's his little toy duck, which can roll around, by the way. Ooh, there you go, there's toy duck a little better. It can roll around because the wheels move. And it has a handle that Edgar can hold, which is really cool. Moving on to his projector, it's also a clip from TC Trio Troubles, but it's just the gang walking around for the opening of the cartoon, which is really cool. Alright, moving on to articulation. Edgar's head moves on a swivel. He slightly can move up and down, but it's not really a move, it's just like a bob. His arms can move up and down and side to side. He has a ball joint in there, and I would say, in fact. His elbows can also bend, and unbend, as you can see here, about 90 degrees. His wrist can rotate slightly, and each one of his legs has a ball joint in the leg, the upper leg, excuse me, and his knees bend, and his feet are also on ball joints, which is really cool too. So a lot of posability with this guy, which is awesome for a spider like him. I just wish I had a Spider-Man figure to compare him to, but I don't, so. Now let's move on to comparison. Yeehaw! Here's Edgar next to the Showdown Bandit figure from Fat Mojo. Here he is next to the NECA TMNT Donnie figure once again from the 80s cartoon.
Turtles fight with honor!
As per usual, here he is next to the Jakks Bendy. And last but not least, here he is next to the rest of the gang members. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and please subscribe for more Bendy and other content. Thank you.